Now, millions of people in Cameroon are facing a deepening food crisis, with families skipping meals, selling livestock, and taking on debt just to survive. The International Federation of Red Cross, Red Crescent Societies, the IFRC, says that more than 3.3 million people are struggling to find enough food, particularly in the far north and northeastern regions. Joining us to discuss the situation and the humanitarian response is Dr. Aimé Mbonda Noula, who's a program coordinator at the IFRC Country Cluster Delegation in Yaoundé. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter.
Dr. Noula, just how severe is this crisis that's being described as a silent hunger crisis in Cameroon?
Oh, Peter, yeah. Definitely the situation is very serious and continues to deteriorate in Cameroon. As we mentioned, the global figures are talking about 3.3 million people in Cameroon that are currently facing food insecurity. And what we did with Cameroon Red Cross is that we did an in-depth community assessment where we found that many households have reduced their numbers of meals to eat. They have to select who will eat among their kids, and definitely food stocks are depleted, markets are unstable, and many households have lost the means to produce or purchase food. For many families in Cameroon, and especially in these specific regions, far north, northeast, northwest, and southwest, the crisis is no more longer temporary, and it's now becoming a daily struggle for survival.
How much has conflict and maybe population movement contributed to this crisis that we're seeing?
Yeah, actually, the food insecurity in these countries is driven by combination of overlapping crises. Normally, in far north, we have the armed groups and the cross-border violence, which is affecting the livelihood and also the access to land. This has raised to the fact that many families are now having their farming activities disrupted and also the market activities. At the same time, we also have climate shocks. We also have floods and irregular rainfalls who has damaged the crops and reduced agricultural production. This has led to rising the food crisis and also put economic pressures on these families who now struggles to buy food. And these factors are all creating a prolonged and complex humanitarian crisis alongside with the migration, displacement of population, but also the conflict and the climate impact.
So you have the lean season, and that's the period, I believe, before the next harvest when food stocks are usually quite low. This is approaching. Are there fears that this year could be, it could arrive much earlier and hit harder than before?
Yeah, this is definitely what is expected. Actually, the communities are already struggling enough. And with this lean season coming, they are going to reduce more and more meals per day, but they are also going to sell all their productive assets, such as livestock, farming tools, or household item. And definitely, we are seeing some families borrowing money or food, and this increases the debts and the vulnerability. In some communities, parents are even skipping meals so that their children can eat. And we are not yet in the lean season. So just imagine when the lean season will come, this will be definitely a disaster. So we are here to anticipate that. Over.
So what kind of assistance and help have you been able to provide? And I guess you probably need even more resources to deal with the issue.
Yeah, up to now, we have been able to support some families with cash distribution, multi-purpose cash. This will help them to reduce their debts, but also to procure foods, to procure materials, and also to send their kids to schools, and finally to be able to manage sending their kids to hospitals if needed. So at this level now, we are launching an emergency appeal which aims to reach 330,000 people, which is 10% of the people who are really affected by this crisis. And really, we will focus on the multipurpose catch. We will focus on nutrition and health service, but also protection and community engagement activities. This is to support the communities to restore their livelihoods, and we will have different phases. We will have the early phases to respond rapidly to the needs, but we will move to the resilient phases so that they can be able to manage and be resilient with this disaster.
Is there anything that the policymakers, the authorities, the governments, not just in Cameroon, but across the continent, can do better in the face of crises such as this?
Yeah, definitely. Immediate and flexible funding is urgently needed to scale up this response before the situation worsens further. Timely support will allow humanitarian actors to expand cash assistance, strengthen nutrition support, and help families protect their livelihood. Without this rapid support, more households may fall deeper into this crisis, and recovery will become even more difficult. We need strong partnership with donors and humanitarian actors, but we also need local mobilization, community engagement, and this will really help these households and communities to cope with this growing food insecurity crisis. Thank you.
Dr. Noula, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much indeed for that update. And let's just hope that the amount of help that's required arrives and arrives quickly. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Dr. Aimé Mbonda Noula, Program Coordinator at the IFRC, talking to us about the 3.3 million people food insecure in Cameroon at this time.